If you want any chance at beating the EZA for Evolution Blue Vegeta, you have to run the Mastered Evolution category, but there's two problems with that. One, there's only one leader, so you're very limited as to who you could run. But the leader himself is still relatively new. He's literally only 2 months old on Global, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really play JP like that, but I think he's only returned once on JP. So even JP players haven't had much of a chance to get this guy, so I wouldn't be surprised if many players don't have this Super Vegeta in their box, which leads us to today's topic, which is how in the world can we beat this EZA without actually having this guy as our lead. And honestly, after looking through the category, I don't think it's going to be too difficult as long as you guys have been grinding up specific units in your box. The first thing we have to look for is units who lead superclass or all types, or units who have category leads but also buff a lot of these units in the category as well. Now, per tradition, I have to catch at least one person lacking with today's subscriber challenge very quick, which is this. If you don't have this guy in your box, who can definitely help you as a leader, if you don't have some other units, but if you don't have this guy in your box, SA 20 out of 20, then you have to subscribe to the channel. I think it's very fair. He's closing out on 4 years old on JP, so you're really lacking if you don't have this guy done. But if you do, I applaud you on your grinding. You can skip today's subscriber challenge. I will catch you lacking in the next one though, so stay tuned for that. Let's hop straight into this video. So I do have a few leaders pulled up here. One, I would recommend this Vegeta. He is a pure Saiyans 3 key 150% lead, so there's definitely a lot of pure Saiyans on this category. You can definitely get that done. The issue with this guy though is that he's not really that good anymore. His defensive stacking is really low, so you can't really count on that in the EZA, and we don't know how hard this EZA is going to be, right? So this guy, I would not be surprised if by stage 30 this guy is getting one shot. So even though he is providing a 150 lead, this unit himself is not going, I don't really see him doing that great in the later stages of the EZA, but he's still an option if you have nothing else, right? He also buffs superclass as well, so keep that in mind. The second leader I want to propose to you, which I think is actually overall better, is this Goku. Now, his leader skill isn't as high, but he's giving it to super class instead of just pure Saiyans. So you could bring units like, this into Gotenks or, all these Vegetas and Gokus are still in pure Saiyans anyways, but you do have just a little bit more breathing room with this guy's leader skill compared to Vegeta's. And this guy also has built-in damage reduction, which can definitely help you take less damage in the EZA. The only issue with running this guy as your lead though is that he's not getting his extra attack and defensive buffs and key buffs because you're not facing an extreme class enemy. So there's definitely some, not L's, but definitely some, what's the word? There's some limitations on running both of these leads, but I mean, it is what it is. If you have nothing else, what else can you possibly run, right? There's a few other options here, but again, I think these two are definitely going to be some of your better options. Next, we do have this Vegeta. I don't think he's going to work that well in the later stages of the fight. However, he is a pure Saiyans lead, and as you already saw, there's a lot of pure Saiyans on this category. Keep in mind that you definitely want to stray away from bringing any STR units, by the way. Some of these STR units are pretty freaking good, but in this EZA, you're going to want, stage 30, this guy is getting killed. I wouldn't be surprised if Super Vegeta himself, it just depends on how strong this guy's debuff is for every other unit and typing, but we'll see. Again, we're gonna have to see how that works. But yeah, I would say these 3 units are definitely solid leaders. Now, when it comes to categories besides pure Saiyans, I would actually recommend, if you have this guy, you can definitely make a team work because this guy is a Kamehameha leader and he is on Mastered Evolution category. So as long as you bring Kamehameha units, which there's a lot on this category, you can definitely get away with a, he gives 130% to HP, but 170 to attack and defense, which is, of course, is going to be very important. So personally, I would recommend this guy as your leader if you have him, but then you need to bring, Goku units who are on the Kamehameha category. So I would recommend this guy who is on Kamehameha. He is tech, so you definitely, I think you definitely want to run him. Try to avoid though getting your 18 key with this guy, because he does lose a lot of defense when he does perform his 18 key. So just stay within the realm of 12 to 17 key if you can, but you know, it is what it is if you can't. Next, you probably want to try and bring this guy who also has this EZA. I do think he's going to be doing a lot of damage if you can manage to get him under the Kamehameha leader skill. And then with the same team here so far, we can also bring this guy. Now, this guy, again, he is an EZA unit. He's actually not going to perform that bad with this EZA. He's actually pretty solid. He is giving all allies 3 key, which can help you super attack as well. And he is buffing the Super Saiyan 2 category, which, to be fair, not many of these units on this, you know, on this specific team are going to be on, except for, you know, this Goku and stuff. But I mean, with that, like, don't worry too much about his support, because again, it is what it is. Like you, since we're so limited on the units we can build, like, don't think you can't run this guy, because, you know, a lot of the team doesn't have the Super Saiyan 2 category. So just, again, keep that in mind. But he is definitely, I would say, consider running this guy. I would say he's worth it if you have him, or, you know, already EZ8 in your box. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 units so far. We need 2 more units for the team. I would recommend bringing this guy. Again, he's not tech, so he won't have the type advantage against the Vegeta, but at least he's not STR, right? And this guy is, I would consider, still very, very strong. I would not be surprised if he could hold up in the event. The only issue that I really see with this guy is that he is the type of unit that gets the more defense. You know, the higher HP you have, which is not really how you want it, in my opinion. I would say the less defense you have, the less HP you have, the more defense you should have, because if you're losing HP, it means you need more defense. So I think that's definitely the better way to build it. So if you are lacking, let's say you end up taking a super attack for like 300k, and you have this guy in the rotation, you might actually end up getting clapped, because this guy, again, he's going to lose defense because you're low on HP. So just keep that in mind. But I would still, wow, I can't speak. I would still say this guy could definitely get the job done. And then last but not least, at least for this team, you could probably bring this Goku as well. He does stack. He will change a lot of orbs on the field. Granted, it's physical, and there's no, you know, physical unit on this category. However, if he does end up changing, you know, 9, 10, 11 physical orbs, any one of these units can still eat from that. Just because it's not their specific type doesn't mean they still can't eat from that. It's going to be a lot better than getting 2 tech key spheres, or, you know, 1 or 3 AGL key spheres. So this guy, even though he's not, you know, a tech orb changer, he can still get the job done for some of these other units, so that way they can get, you know, their 18 keys off, whatever the case may be. So I would say this team, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this team, I would consider it good enough to get the job done. But remember, no one has experienced this EZA just yet, so this guy could end up getting clapped. Same thing with this guy. We'll just, again, have to see. I would not be surprised if they made this EZA somewhat difficult, but I would also have to imagine that they understand that this guy is still relatively new. So I think it's hard to expect any player to have this guy already in their box. Granted, Rainbow and anything like that, he's still relatively new on both versions of the game. Not many players have had a lot of chances to get this guy. And to be honest, like, this guy also dropped right after the New Year step up. So many players on global were like depleted of stones completely. So keep that in mind. Also, I want to mention that you could go extreme class on this as well. This Frieza here will do some pretty nice numbers, because unlike the Goku counterpart to this unit, this guy is actually getting key buffs, attack and defensive buffs, since you're facing a super class enemy. So this guy could definitely be good. And on top of that, you have a lot of defensive powerhouses with Extreme. So this Frieza could definitely put in some work for you. And then you also have this Frieza who can put in some work. This guy, he gets, you know, he does support target Goku. He does stack defense as well. He's not that great, but he's also not that bad either, especially for this EZA. You also have this physical Frieza, the movie bosses support Frieza here, which, like, how many of these units are actually on movie bosses? So I mean, I can understand if you don't want to use him, but you guys get my point. Like, again, when it comes to the extreme class, you don't have that many options. So I would definitely say you want to focus your time and efforts on either this guy is your lead, this guy is your lead, this guy is your lead, or if you have LRAGL Gohan, who, by the way, is fairly old at this point, so, and he's been on so many banners. So I would understand if you have at least have 1 copy, that you can try your best to build a full Kamehameha team, while keeping in mind that all of these units are on the Mastered Evolution category as well. So let me know what you guys think Is there any other team builds you can possibly think of that maybe I didn't mention in this video? Let me know in the comments below. But I wish you the best of luck in trying to beat this, because listen, I don't even have Vegeta myself, so like I'm gonna have to beat this. I do think I'm gonna go with this team right here. I think this guy's gonna hit pretty hard with the 17 key. I think this team should be able to get the job done for the most part, but I guess we're gonna have to see until it comes back. But yeah, so let me know what you guys again think. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next one. Take care and peace.